morning, this is Jeannie. I'm trying to get things set up. I haven't done hardly ever any lives on YouTube, and so just be patient, and I'll do my best. I if you're on, I can't read the comments from where I'm at. I should have put a device right here so I could read the comments. Let me grab my phone. Maybe I can do that. And so let me know if you're here and if you can see me, because I'm not really sure. Let's see. Well, I hope so. I hate to do this whole live and not really be live. But I'm having trouble figuring out how to watch. Well, we'll just wing it. I like I say, I don't know if I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it let me watch along on my phone. It says I'm live, but it says no view, so it's either that, maybe I'm here by myself. Anyway, I'll go ahead with the video, and if I'm not live, that's okay. I'll upload it when I'm done. What I'm going to do today, all the products that I have came from Trendy Tree, except for this little wreath. This is just a little pre-made wreath. I found this at Dollar General for like $10. So when I'm making things for myself especially, I won't be using any hot glue. I'm just going to take this little wreath and add some things to it and add a bow and go with that. So it kind of gives you a head start. It's made on a little grapevine, and this is about a 12-inch grapevine. And all these, it's got a little bit of lavender and 2 or 3 different kinds of leaves. It looks like some lamb's ear. And the first thing we're going to do is just kind of fluff those pieces out and spread them out a little bit. Just kind of work them around. And then I have picked up some things from Trendy Tree. I picked up 2 pink bushes and a blue one. It already has a little lavender on it. And then this is a ribbon that's at Trendy Tree right now. And the number on it is 9304W-003. And I will tag all the products at the end of this video. And if I'm not live on YouTube, I'll have a blog post with the products listed underneath that. So this is a 1.5-inch ribbon, and it's 10 yards. And this is kind of an aqua. It has little cutouts of a little egg with a little Easter bunny, and it has Happy Easter on it. I'm going to use that. And then I have another one that's just 7/8 inch, just a light blue. I don't know if they call this aqua or what. I will have to look at the website to see, but it is RGE 720281. And the Easter egg, or the little Happy Easter ribbon, is 31001-09-45. Those are long numbers. So look for those links in the description or in the blog post. This bush is 30356 PK. Of course, the PK just stands for pink. It has different little blooms and a little beaded like a berry stem. And then I have a 60919 TQ, and that's turquoise. The 60919 is an extremely popular piece at Trendy Tree and has been for a long time. It's got several different types of leaves. It's got some little twig. You can see that up against my black shirt. And 2 or 3 kinds of blooms, some light blue, little turquoise, little berry blooms. It's just got a lot going on. And then there's another one that's a lighter pink, and I don't know that I'm going to cut both of these up. I may just go with the brighter pink. I brought this one out just in case. The number on it is, it's a 60919 PK, same thing as the blue, just an assortment of things. So I'm not sure that I'm going to use that. And then I do like everybody, you know, I never throw anything away. This is just a little white ranunculus that came out of my stash, and I would show you my stash. It's behind the camera there in my closet, but I'm embarrassed too. So I just have a big wicker basket back there, and as I have leftovers, I just stick them down in it and dig back through it, you know, to find things. So as I'm making this for myself, I won't be using any hot glue. Now, if you're making it for someone else, absolutely, or certainly if you're making things to sell, use some hot glue. I'm not, because this one is kind of a small size. It's not going to go on my door. It's smaller than what I would put on my door. I would probably like prop it up on my mantle or in a bookcase or put it on an easel. So it's going to be inside, so it's not going to be getting that trauma of the door slamming. So I'm just going to cut my pieces and stick them in without any hot glue. And one reason I do that is because I like to repurpose things. So in a few weeks, I may pull out these spring things, and I may pull out this lavender that's already in there and use something like some red, white, and blue, and make something for patriotic for like Memorial Day. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut the stems on the bushes. And these 60919s, they are like paper wrapped, so you can just about pull these bunches apart, just kind of separate it and get it into some clumps, and then I can make those clumps smaller if I need to. And y'all, I try to cover up my arms, but my sleeves are not going to stay up. Trying to keep my sleeves pushed up, and the dog scratched me, so my arms look pretty bad right now. But anyway, and this one is what we call, it's all plastic, and it's called a pusher. 30356 PK. So you can like take these little limbs, push those up, and get a thicker piece at the top, and that works good. So I'm just going to cut these up. I could have done this beforehand, but I wanted you to see the bush like it was before I cut it up. And I'm just going to separate them into colors. Oh, and I just came from the Trendy Tree warehouse. Of course, I don't know if I ever told you, this is Jeannie with Trendy Tree. Well, Trendy Tree is my daughter Carrie and son-in-law David. It's their business now. And I don't go to the warehouse except usually when I want to run by and see them or grab some supplies or help out with a live or something like that. We did a live yesterday and showed some ideas for some wreaths with some signs and some ribbons and some florals, and I would try to do more lives on YouTube. Of course, they do lives from the shop all the time if they're busy filling orders. But anyway, what I was going to tell you was when I ran by the shop this morning, she said, "Oh, by the way, we've got in some square boxwoods," and I don't know if you've tried to find boxwoods or not, wreaths. The square ones are kind of hard to find and keep, so they're in stock. I don't know if they even have them listed yet or not, but I'll tag them if they have. Oops, sorry, because they're very popular and they're just kind of hard to find. And you know, when you have a business like Trendy Tree, you have to do what's called pre-booking. So everything that she orders, like the spring items, she ordered like last June, last July. So they're what we call pre-booked. And the wholesale companies don't keep, you know, you think when something is popular and it sells out, you think, well, okay, we'll just get some more. It doesn't work like that. You have to pre-book everything that you buy. Of course, you don't know what's going to be popular and what's going to sell and what's not. So the manufacturers, they only make what, you know, people have ordered. So it's not like they have a warehouse full of things that you can just restock when you get low. There are a few things. Sometimes, you know, some ribbon. Some of the companies keep a few things, but not your general everything. And these little white ranunculus, I've had these for a while. I don't know if the exact ones are still in stock or not, but I can find something that's similar. So I'm just going to kind of, I'll have to trim these as I go, some of them, because I had used them in another project and probably with longer stems. So trim these off. And I'm just going to start going around the wreath. I'm going to go around with my white first and just poke that down in there. And I'm just going to kind of alternate. I'm going to go one on the outside and then one sort of to the inside. And like I say, you know, if you were making a wreath to sell, you certainly would want to use some hot glue. But this is just for me, and it's just going to sit on the tabletop or sit on the bookcase and short of the dog knocking it off. It shouldn't have anything happen to it. I thought this was a really pretty little wreath too, to come from Dollar General. And like I say, it was only $10. I mean, you could use it just like it is, put a small bow on it, but I wanted to add a little something extra to it. Now, Kara has got a couple of wreaths in stock right now that are pre-made, that have some greenery. Now, boxwood is very popular, but you know, the boxwood is more dense and not quite as easy to add extra florals to. To me, a boxwood is more, just put a bow on it, and that's really all you need, unless you make an arrangement with a bow and then put that whole thing on there. I'd rather have something that's, you know, loose and airy like this to add in extra things. But one is a mountain laurel wreath, and I showed you yesterday on the Facebook Live, and it's just gorgeous. It's just really pretty. And this wreath has a ring at the top, so that will help me keep centered. See how many I've got left. I don't want to run out. I hope this is live. I hope I haven't done all this in vain. But I'll have a video even if it's not. But I hate to mess up on something. Live and learn. So that's what we have so far. A little extra. That one's kind of, looks like it's kind of sticking up a little bit. And you can see the leaves are kind of going around that way, so I've tried to kind of stay in that same pattern. This was just some extra greenery that I had, but I've only got one piece, so I'm not going to use that. So now I'm going to work in some of this pink, and I'm just going to go back and do the same thing. Just start adding in a piece, kind of alternating it, kind of pick up some of the berries and then some of the little blooms. I like that light and airy look for spring, so just keep adding some in. I have a little blocked bunny, and I thought, and I may still do it. I've already got a little Easter wreath with rabbits on my coffee table, so I don't really need anything else Easter. But I thought, my thoughts were, that would be cute, put that little bunny in there, and then after Easter, just pull him out. So we'll see. I don't know. It's a really tight grapevine. We're expecting some bad weather here today. We're in Mississippi, of course, and we go from 30 degrees one day and 70 the next. So we're supposed to have some high winds and thunderstorms this afternoon and tonight. So we'll see. So I've gone all the way around it, but that one's kind of sticking up too much, so let me work on it a little more. Where's my, hard to find that ring. Okay, this one looks like it's sticking out a little much. So if it's sticking out too much on the side, I'll just kind of move it to the top a little bit. I think that one's sticking out a little much too. Just play with it, and that's one good thing if you're not using hot glue and you don't lock your position. You know, you can change it. Good shake every now and then, make sure something's not going to just fall out. this. All of this is wired, so you can just, you know, curve it a little bit. But I'm still keeping that same, keep going around, just turning the wreath and working things in on that same pattern. Just kind of lift things up out of the way and kind of rub on your fingers a little bit. And sometimes you kind of have to stand off, you know, you have to kind of stand off and look at it and make sure you haven't, you know, got things going lopsided or anything. Flowers don't grow in a perfect circle, you know. So. You have lots of excuses for it not to come out just right. All that's important is if you like it, or your customer, if you, you know, of course, if you're making it for a customer. Now, I may have some pieces that have stuck through on the back. It won't matter for this. Well, it would matter if I was going to hang it on a cabinet door, if I was going to hang it on the wall, or even a door. I would go back and I would make sure that I don't have any sharp edges sticking out. I would just like that, trim that off, just make it like, you know, even with the grapevine, that kind of thing. You know, I'll pull the piece back where it's not protruding through the grapevine. Some little vine. I don't have much of that. Let's see if we can work that in somewhere. So that is our pink. There's one more piece of that. Just stick that in somewhere. A lot of different elements going on. And I like that. It makes it kind of, I can't keep up with where that ring is. I think I need to put a piece of ribbon on it so I can tell. Okay, and then I've got the blue, and I needed a little blue because my ribbon has got pink, lavender, blue, and yellow. I didn't bring any yellow flowers, you know. Yellow is just not my favorite color, and so I didn't bring any yellow flowers. I'll separate these a little more and work in some of this blue. stem is not cooperating. This would be handy here if I had my hot glue gun out, because the wire is a little not as stiff as the plastic wire, but I can still make it work. Have a couple of pieces like this, just twist them together to make that wire stiffer. Or you could get out your hot glue gun, which I don't really want to do. Okay, and what you can do, like on this where the wire is not as stiff as like the plastic. Like that's pretty stiff. That one is a little weaker. You can just kind of work it in there and work it around something that's already in the wreath. Just kind of wire it in. Good shape. See, these plastic pieces are really easier to get in there. Trying to put this where I don't have any glue. Okay. So I need something right here. I probably could have not separated these pieces out into so many pieces. I could have let them clump together a little more maybe. And I didn't leave these little berries, I didn't leave a stem long enough to poke in the thing. So that's where if I had my hot glue gun out, I could poke those in. But I'm not going to heat it up, not just for that. So alright. Let's see, I've got just a couple more little things that I can stick in there. And that's really, I think that's enough. Let's see. Stick something in right there. Okay, alright. So let me clean off my table before I start and make my bow. I'm gonna save those little blue berries in case I decide to get my hot glue gun out in a little bit and just stick those on there. Like I said, I don't like to waste anything. Okay. And okay, so let me just set that out of the way. I'm not going to make a huge bow. It's a small wreath. It's a lot of flowers, so it doesn't need, just a huge bow. So I'm going to use, oh, I got a sticker. It's an EZ Bow, but it's called a Stow and Go. It's EZ Bow, something like that. It comes in a bag. And it is just like the EZ Bowmaker. It's just a little more compact. It has some wood and plastic parts. And it has instructions in there on how to put it together. It has your wood dowels, and this part is to hold your ribbon. And this part is what you use to make your bow. It has markings on here in inches, and then it has a plastic piece that actually holds your ribbon. That's about what all of the bow makers do. They just hold your ribbon, and you just put that right in there. Oh, I'm sorry, it comes up on the bottom. That's right. There we go. And then you've got, sorry for that noise. And then you've got these dowels and this wood thing just to hold your ribbon, just to make it a little more convenient. Plus, one good thing about these are, like, if you like to make a ribbon where you wind ribbon around, like maybe you're not using wired ribbon, you just need a ribbon holder. That's good for something like that. I think I'm going to start out with the Easter Bunny ribbon, and let's see, have about a 12-inch tail. This is a partial roll of ribbon, so I don't have, a whole lot. But we'll make a 12-inch tail and drop it down. You want to get your right side of your ribbon up, and we're going to make about an 8-inch bow. So I'm going to come out here to the 4-inch mark and make a 4-inch loop. Press that down, give it a twist, and come out to the 4-inch mark here. Drop that down, give that a twist. Just a moment. And then we're gonna make 2 loops on each side of this one, okay? So I'm going to twist. And make another 4-inch loop. Twist. And make another 4-inch loop, and then come on down and have another 12-inch tail. Now I never thought about it, but I mean this, one side of these bunny ears are going up, the other one's going down, but I'm that's okay for today. Alright, and then I'm going to use this stripe, and it's got blue, aqua, turquoise, purple, lavender, pink, and yellow in it. And I'm going to make a 12-inch tail, drop that down. And then this one, I'm going to make this loop just a little bit smaller. I'm going to come in at about 3.5 inches. Give it a twist. 3.5 inches on the other side. And I'm going to stop there. I'm just going to put 1 loop on each side of that ribbon. Come down. Well, it's a good thing because, you know, that was a scrap. Carrie used that the other day, so that worked out pretty good. Get rid of that. I love using scrap ribbon. I love using up scrap ribbon. I just hate to see a partial roll go to waste. So I'm always looking for something to use up the scraps on. And this one is not much on it either. So I'm going to make my 12-inch tail. Drop that down. And on this one, I probably have even less. So let's see if we have enough to make a 3-inch loop. We'll see. Tails may be a little shorter, but that's okay. So we're going to come down and make a smaller loop, about a 3-inch, maybe a little less than that. Sorry. Yep, that's what we got. So we're going to stop right there. Okay, and I should have done this before I started. I think that I am out of chenille stems. But I have this wire. This is just paper wrapped wire. I'll just use a piece of it. I'm going to ease that up off the board. Right where it's stacked, all stacked up. Now you could use a piece of floral wire. Paper wrapped floral wire holds tighter than just wire. And you could use a zip tie right here. And I have got some zip ties, but anyway, I'm using paper. It's called binding wire. And then you can just fluff out your bow. And see, it's not going to really show. And just, I like to put your fingers under those tails to kind of give them a little bit of lock. Fluff out your bow where you can see everything. Should have fluffed out there. Okay, so the top of my wreath, I'll declare that one is hard to find. There's the top of my wreath. So I'm going to put my bow right down here at the bottom. So I can take I've got enough wire to go around the wreath. Make sure I keep it straight. I'm not going to pull it in there too tight. I'm just going to pull that around to the back and twist that together. do like to trim the ends. On a 1.5 inch, I just trim them at an angle. I don't dovetail those. If I'm using 2.5 or larger, I usually do dovetail those. And once I, put it where it's going to go, I might have to trim the bow tails a little bit more. But that's what we've got. Push that up to where it's standing up in the center a little more. Now, like I said, I've got this little bunny. I just think he's cute, and that would be pretty for Easter. So that's it. I just think that would be cute, just sitting right in there like that. So hang on, let me get a skewer from the kitchen. I'll be right back. I'm sorry, I should have had my stuff together. I didn't. But anyway, so this is just a wooden skewer. These are so handy, and it's way too long, so I'm just going to cut it in half. And I'm going to keep the sharp end to go into the grapevine and see if I can poke that into that bunny. Maybe harder than I thought, that styrofoam. Maybe I could do that. It may be a more solid foam than I thought. Or I may have to get my husband to do it. I don't want to. Well, who would have thought it would have been that hard? Maybe I should take the sharp end and go in with it. Oh, well, there it went through. So, yeah, I should have taken the sharp end. So it's hollow on the inside. I see now it's not solid styrofoam. So it's hollow on the inside. Live and learn. See, I just assumed it was solid piece of styrofoam. So I'm just going to take him and just see now if I can set him. So, okay, well, let's see if he's going to sit there. Okay, sit there, little buddy. Okay. All right, well, that'll work. And like I say, after I put it where I'm going to put it, I may have to, trim these tails a little more. We'll see. But anyway, if I have been live all the time, thank you for watching. And if not, I'll get it uploaded and get a blog post done and give you the list of all the supplies that I used from Trendy Tree. Thanks for watching. Well, I'm trying to figure out how to end this live.